Did you know that tucked away in your pocket change or your grandpa's old coin jar, there might be a forgotten treasure, a massive Eisenhower dollar from 1971 or 1978, or even the special 1976 bicentennial or the overlooked 1974 that could unlock a story of American pride, Cold War tension, and a legacy of big, bold coins that no one makes anymore? Stay with me as we journey through the complete detailed history. This is the full untold story of the 1974 Eisenhower dollar, from hidden prototypes to circulated legends, from silver-clad experiments to why some versions vanished. Grab your seat, because you're about to go deep into a 2-hour journey through American coinage history like never before. The year is 1974, and America stands in a time of political tension, global change, and economic transition. The Vietnam War is nearing its end. Richard Nixon is in the final phase of his presidency, and the Watergate scandal is looming in the background. During these shifting tides, the United States Mint continues production of one of the largest and most iconic coins of the 20th century, the Eisenhower dollar. A coin that started in 1971 to honor President Dwight D. Eisenhower and to commemorate the Apollo 11 moon landing. In 1974, the Eisenhower dollar saw its 4th year of minting. It was a coin that stood out not just for its large size and bold design, but also for its history symbolism and the role it played in the transformation of American currency systems. This is not just a story of a coin, but of a movement, a technological leap, and a nation balancing tradition with modern economics to fully understand the 1974 $1 coin. We must begin with the origin of the Eisenhower dollar series itself. After the passing of General Dwight D. Eisenhower in 1969, Congress moved quickly to honor him with a new dollar coin. But this wasn't just about a tribute. It was also about revitalizing a denomination that had not been minted for general circulation since the peace. Dollar ended in 1935. By the late 1960s, the demand for a large circulating dollar coin had returned, especially with growing casino use in Nevada and in U.S. military bases overseas, where dollar-sized tokens were commonly used. The Coinage Act of 1965 had already removed silver from circulating quarters and dimes and limited the silver content of half dollars. The same economic philosophy was applied to the Eisenhower dollar it was designed for, circulation in copper-nickel clad. But there were also limited silver-clad versions struck. Especially for collectors in 1974, 2 main versions were created: the clad business strike for circulation and the 40% silver coins minted in San Francisco for collectors. The obverse featured a left-facing bust of Eisenhower, modeled by chief engraver Frank Gasparo, using a design based on a NASA image. The reverse showed the Apollo 11 insignia with a bald eagle landing on the moon holding an olive branch with the Earth in the background, a powerful symbol of peace through strength. The same design was used from 1971 through 1974, giving this coin historical and cultural weight. But the 1974 Eisenhower dollar holds deeper significance in numismatic history because it was supposed to be the last of its kind before the planned release of a new, smaller dollar coin in 1975, unknown to the general public. And collectors, the Mint had been preparing for a major change, one that would manifest as the Susan B. Anthony dollar by 1979. But in 1974, internal tests were already happening, and experimental dies were being discussed. What many don't realize is that there was a 1974 pattern coin known as the aluminum cent, and it shares a connection to the broader economic goals that affected all coinage, including the dollar inflation, rising metal costs, and changes in vending machine technology. All influenced the fate of large coins like the Eisenhower dollar. Now consider the mintages in 1974. Philadelphia struck over 27 million clad dollars, Denver struck over 45 million, and San Francisco produced over 1 million silver-clad proof versions. But the coins faced practical challenges. Their large size made them unpopular in everyday use. Vending machines and cash drawers were not designed to accept them, and many sat in bank vaults for years. Others found life in casinos where their weight and shine made them a perfect substitute for silver dollars. Collectors took a growing interest, and this was especially true of the San Francisco issues, which came in both uncirculated and proof finishes. The 40% silver content made them desirable for silver stackers as well, but the 1974 S-proof dollar, especially in high-grade deep cameo, became a sought-after piece as grading services like PCGS and NGC began slabbing and certifying coins throughout the 1980s and 90s. Certain examples began to fetch high premiums based on strike-quality toning and rarity in top condition. Errors and varieties also play a role in the legacy of the 1974 dollar. Among the known anomalies are doubled dies, missing clad layers, off-center strikes, and even a few bizarre transitional errors. Although no official 1974 silver dollar was struck for circulation, some reports and rumors have persisted of oddities surfacing in dealer hands, suggesting potential test strikes or unauthorized mint activity. Though none have been officially confirmed by the mint, such tales only increase the mystique of the 1974 dollar. The role of the Eisenhower dollar in the larger timeline of American coins cannot be ignored. By 1974, the government was reconsidering how coins functioned in a rapidly modernizing economy. Paper bills had become more dominant for daily transactions, and coins were now more about bulk vending, gaming, and commemorative use. The 1974 Eisenhower dollar is a snapshot of this transitional moment, caught between old-world aesthetics and new-world pragmatism. Beyond the economics, the cultural value of this coin continues to grow. It remains the last large-sized circulating dollar coin, the last to depict a military general, the last with such physical presence, and among the last to feature artwork rooted in space exploration for collectors, historians and patriots alike. The 1974 Eisenhower dollar is not just currency, it's a time capsule. As you hold the coin in your hand, you feel the weight of post-war leadership, the echoes of moon missions, and the fading glory of big metal money in an era shifting toward smaller, lighter, faster systems. The 1974 Eisenhower dollar stands tall, a tribute to bold design, fearless exploration, and a president who symbolized American strength. This is why the 1974 $1 coin remains a centerpiece in collections worldwide. Its story is not just minted in metal, but carved into the soul of 20th century America, from the factory floors of the Denver Mint to the gambling halls of Las Vegas, from the collector boxes of numismatists to the pockets of soldiers stationed abroad. This coin made its mark and continues to inspire. This was the full, in-depth professional history of the 1974 $1 Eisenhower coin. Stay with us to learn more about rare dates, mint errors, grading secrets, and auction records, as we continue to uncover the true value and untold stories of American coinage. Eisenhower dollar. Stay with me as we uncover the complete untold history, the secrets buried in its design, the collector demand rising behind the scenes, and why this $1 might just be worth far more than you think. Where we uncover the hidden history and true value of old American coins. Today, we are diving deep into one of the most iconic yet often overlooked coins in U.S. numismatic history, the 1978 $1 coin, the last Eisenhower dollar ever minted. This was more than just the final year of a coin series. It was the closing moment of a bold experiment by the U.S. Mint to honor a war hero, a president, and a space mission, all in one metallic piece. The 1978 Eisenhower dollar marks the end of an era, and understanding its story gives you a complete window into a decade of American ambition, policy, economic transition, and numismatic evolution. To understand the 1978 $1 coin, we first need to go back to 1969, when Dwight D. Eisenhower passed away. He was the Supreme Commander of the Allied Forces in World War II, and the 34th President of the United States, a man widely respected for both his military and political leadership. Congress immediately began discussing how to honor his legacy with a coin. At the same time, NASA's Apollo 11 moon landing had just occurred. So there was a desire to capture that moment as well. The decision was made to honor both the late president and the moon landing on a new $1 coin. the first large dollar coin since the end of the peace dollar series in 1935. The Eisenhower dollar was approved by Congress in December 1970, and the first coins were struck in 1971. From 1971 to 1978. The coin saw 8 years of production during a time of major economic shifts, inflation, energy crisis, distrust in government. After the Watergate scandal and significant technological progress, the Eisenhower dollar stood as a symbol of strength, consistency, and patriotism. But it also had problems. The coin was large, heavy, not very popular in daily commerce. And as vending machines and cash registers modernized, many people found it cumbersome to use. The obverse of the Eisenhower dollar features a left-facing portrait of Dwight D. Eisenhower designed by chief engraver Frank Gasparo, a solid and clean profile showing Ike's strength and calm demeanor. The reverse is one of the most fascinating designs in modern coinage. It features the Apollo 11 insignia and American bald eagle landing on the moon with an olive branch in its talons, inspired directly from the official mission patch. This design was not only symbolic of peace and victory, but was the first time a circulating coin honored a space mission. Now let's zoom into the year 1978. This was the final year of the Eisenhower series, and that alone gives the coin historical significance. The U.S. Mint was preparing to transition to the smaller Susan B. Anthony dollar in 1979. Which meant 1978 would be the last hurrah for large-sized dollar coins in general circulation. As collectors now know, this made the 1978 issue a closing chapter to a very specific style of coinage, which had already been replaced in many vending systems by smaller and more modern denominations. The 1978 Eisenhower dollars were struck at 3 mints: the Philadelphia Mint, the Denver Mint, and the San Francisco Mint, though San Francisco produced only proof coins. The Philadelphia coins carry no mint mark, the Denver coins show a D, and the San Francisco proofs show an S. Proof coins were made for collectors and had mirror-like finishes. While business strikes were intended for circulation, each mint had its own characteristics in strike quality, die use, and minor variations, which are now closely studied by numismatists and variety hunters. Among the 1978 Eisenhower dollars, there are some key varieties and errors that collectors love to chase. One of the most well-known is the 1978 D with a strong die clash. Another is the 1978 S proof with deep cameo contrast. High-grade examples, especially in MS67 and above, can fetch significant premiums due to their scarcity and top condition. The fact that these coins were often not well preserved in bags and were shipped in bulk meant that most surviving coins have Nick's bag marks, or average luster. So gem condition examples are rare and desirable. Another important thing to consider is the composition of these coins from 1971 to 1978. Eisenhower dollars came in 2 types: regular copper nickel clad for circulation and 40% silver for collectors. The 1978 issue only had copper nickel-clad coins, with the San Francisco Mint producing clad proofs. No 40% silver coins were made in 1978, which again sets this year apart as the final pure base metal issue of the Eisenhower dollar era. This decision was a result of rising silver prices and the Mint's desire to streamline costs and focus only on clad compositions going forward. Many people overlook the Eisenhower dollar due to its short lifespan and its low usage in everyday transactions. But among collectors, it has gained new respect in recent decades because of its large-size historical relevance and the patriotic themes of its design. Also, the 1978 issue acts as a bridge between two 1978 issue acts as a bridge between two very different numismatic worlds: the classic large dollar of the 19th and early 20th centuries, and the modern small-size dollars of the post-1979 period. This transitional value gives the 1978 coin a symbolic weight beyond its monetary value. In terms of values most circulated, 1978 Eisenhower dollars are worth just face value, unless they are in excellent condition or part of a complete set. Uncirculated examples in MS65 can go from $10 to $20, And in MS-66 they can fetch $30 to $50 in MS-67. The price can skyrocket into the hundreds, due to low population at that grade. San Francisco proofs are more affordable unless they have deep cameo contrast and are certified PR69 DCAM or PR70 DCAM, which can also be worth $100 to several $100s depending on market demand. Grading plays a huge role in the value of the 1978 dollar coin. Collectors look for sharp details, strong luster, no visible marks, and solid eye appeal. The obverse should show clear details in Eisenhower's hair and jawline, while the reverse should display feathers on the eagle and fine texture on the moonfields. Collectors also examine die varieties, such as doubled dies, repunched mint marks, and strike anomalies, which all contribute to the value and uniqueness of specific coins. The 1978 Eisenhower dollar may not have circulated widely during its own time, but today, it carries the echoes of a generation that saw the end of a war, the landing on the moon, the resignation of a president, and the rise of modern America. It is a coin full of meaning and mystery, and when held in your hand, it's more than a chunk of metal. It's a piece of the American timeline locked forever in copper and nickel. This is why coin collectors, historians, and dealers continue to value it not just for what it's worth, but for what it represents. So, the next time you come across a 1978 $1 coin, take a moment to really look at it, appreciate the bold design, the historical tribute, the artistry, the technology, and the legacy behind it, and ask yourself how many stories are hidden in a coin that once quietly passed from pocket to pocket, forgotten by many, but now rediscovered by those who care about our nation's rich numismatic past. If you've enjoyed this journey through time and coinage, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with other coin lovers, because every coin has a story, and the 1978 Eisenhower dollar has one worth remembering forever. Declaration of Independence. It was a monumental occasion marked by parade ceremonies and commemorative events across the nation. The United States Mint joined in on this historic celebration by producing a unique series of coins that would forever be etched into the memories of collectors and patriots alike. Among them was the $1 coin known today as the 1976 Eisenhower dollar. But it was not just another coin. It carried symbols, stories, and a deep-rooted connection to American history and pride. The Eisenhower dollar had been in production since 1971, featuring the likeness of President Dwight D. Eisenhower on the obverse, and an image of an eagle landing on the moon on the reverse, designed by Frank Gasparro. However, the 1976 version was different. Instead of the usual design, the bicentennial dollar showcased a new reverse designed by Dennis R. Williams, featuring the Liberty Bell superimposed over the moon. This imagery was not only powerful, it symbolized freedom, history, and the American space achievement. The obverse retained the image of Eisenhower, but with the dual date 1976 to honor the bicentennial celebration. This coin was released in two primary compositions: the copper-nickel-clad version used for general circulation, and the 40% silver version minted especially for collectors. The silver-clad versions were not released into circulation and were only available through special bicentennial coin sets purchased directly from the mint. These collector versions are still highly sought after today, especially in uncirculated and proof condition. The production of the bicentennial dollar began in 1975 and carried into 1976. Interestingly, no Eisenhower dollars were dated 1975. All those produced in that period carried the dual date 1976. This made the bicentennial Eisenhower dollar instantly unique among American coinage. The coins were minted at three facilities: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The coins from Philadelphia bear no mint mark. Those from Denver carry the D mark, and those from San Francisco are marked with an ES. The ones minted in San Francisco included both the uncirculated silver versions and proof strikes, which featured a highly polished mirror-like background and frosted design elements. Despite being produced in large quantities, the bicentennial dollars were not widely used in everyday commerce due to their size and the public's general unfamiliarity with the Eisenhower dollar series. Instead, many were saved by collectors and individuals who recognize their historical significance today. These coins often surface in collections, estate sales, and coin shops, where their value can vary significantly based on condition, composition, and rarity. Some examples of the 1976 Eisenhower dollar, particularly those in pristine condition or struck in silver proof, can fetch hundreds, even thousands of dollars at auction, especially if graded by professional services like PCGs or NGC coins that receive high grades such as MS67 or higher, are particularly valuable due to their rarity in such condition. Beyond their monetary value, the bicentennial dollars carry immense historical and emotional significance. They are physical reminders of a proud moment in American history, a celebration of freedom, perseverance, and unity. They connect generations, reminding young collectors and seasoned numismatists alike of the story behind the coin, the design, the symbols, and the pride of a nation that had come so far in 200 years. In terms of mintages, the 1976 D-clad version had over 117 million struck, while the P version had over 177 million. The silver S version saw approximately 4 million produced, and the S-clad proof had over 7 million minted. Each of these figures gives us insight into their relative scarcity and desirability among collectors today. The story of the bicentennial dollar is also a story of art and symbolism. Dennis Williams, the young designer of the reverse, was just 20 years old at the time, and his selection marked a significant moment in numismatic history. He was one of the youngest artists ever to design a coin for the United States Mint. His Liberty Bell and Moon design was selected through a national competition launched in 1973, intended to capture the spirit of the American bicentennial. The result was a design that balanced traditional patriotic imagery with contemporary relevance. It captured both the legacy of the Founding Fathers and the achievements of modern America in space exploration. Collectors today are often drawn to the subtle details of the coin, the crispness of the strike, the shine of the proof fields, the contrast of the frosted elements, and even the alignment of the die. All these technical aspects contribute to a coin's grade, and ultimately its market value. For example, deep cameo proofs, which exhibit strong contrast and sharp definition, can demand premium prices in the collector market. Additionally, errors and varieties also influence the desirability of the 1976 dollar. Some coins feature doubling on the lettering or design elements. Others show striking issues such as off-center strikes, die clashes, or planche flaws. While rare, these anomalies add another layer of intrigue and potential value for those lucky enough to find them. The market for bicentennial Eisenhower dollars has seen periodic surges, especially when popular media or coin influencers highlight specific varieties or rare high-grade examples. For instance, a 1976 S silver proof graded PR70 deep cameo by PCGs once sold for over $4,000. Similarly, pristine examples in mint state 68 or higher can exceed prices of $5,000 depending on demand and certification. This coin remains a staple in many collections, often included in typesets, U.S. history displays, and thematic bicentennial collections. Its size, weight, and striking appearance make it stand out among modern American coinage, and its symbolic value continues to resonate with those who cherish the story of the United States, its founding, and the progress it has made. Over time, as fewer high-quality examples remain in circulation, and as interest in historical coins continues to grow, the demand and value for the 1976 Eisenhower dollar is likely to increase, making it not just a historical keepsake, but a potential investment for future generations of collectors. The bicentennial dollar is more than just a piece of currency. It is a timeless artifact, a story etched in metal, a symbol of a nation's pride and progress. Its journey from design to distribution, and finally to the hands of collectors around the world, reflects the spirit of the American people, their creativity, determination, and respect for history. Owning a piece of this legacy is like holding a moment in time preserved forever in a single coin. And as we continue to look back on the coins of the past, we find not just metal, but meaning not just currency, but culture. The 1976 $1 coin tells that story with quiet power and lasting grace. What if that old 1971 $1 coin sitting in your drawer is worth a small fortune? Stay tuned, because I am about to take you on a mind-blowing journey through the hidden secrets, the rare errors, and the fascinating history of the 1971 Eisenhower dollar coin that could change the way you look at pocket change forever. In the heart of American coinage history, there lies a coin that many people overlook. A coin that carries the face of one of the most iconic American generals and presidents. The Eisenhower dollar minted first in 1971. It was the first dollar coin issued by the United States Mint since the Peace Dollar series ended in 1935, and the first to feature a president since the Kennedy half dollar of 1964. The 1971 Eisenhower dollar is not just a piece of metal, it is a piece of history minted in the wake of the space race and the post-World War II boom. This coin represents more than just a denomination. It is a symbol of American pride, resilience, and ambition. When you hold a 1971 Eisenhower dollar in your hand, you are holding the weight of history. The coin itself was authorized by Congress in December 1970 to honor Dwight D. Eisenhower, the Supreme Allied Commander during World War II and the 34th President of the United States. But this coin also commemorates the Apollo 11 moon landing, which is why the reverse design features an eagle landing on the moon with an olive branch, a design adapted from the Apollo 11 mission insignia. The 1971 Eisenhower dollar was struck in two compositions. The first was the copper nickel-clad version intended for general circulation, minted at the Philadelphia and Denver mints, while a special silver-clad version was produced at the San Francisco Mint. As a collectible, the silver-clad pieces contain 40% silver, giving them an added intrinsic value that continues to attract collectors to this day. The Philadelphia Mint did not use a mint mark, so if you find a 1971 Eisenhower dollar with no mint mark, it was made in Philadelphia. The Denver Mint coins are marked with a small D, and the San Francisco Mint coins bear the S mint mark. Each mint produced millions of these coins, but the devil is always in the details. And what makes some of these coins stand out is their condition, their strike quality, and most importantly, the potential for rare errors and varieties errors in minting can turn a common coin into a rare treasure. For example, some 1971 Eisenhower dollars have doubled, die obverse or reverse, where the images or letters appear slightly doubled due to a misalignment during the die creation process. These errors are highly sought after by collectors. Another rare variety is the pegleg Eisenhower dollar. This term refers to the missing serif on the bottom of the R in Liberty, creating a straight leg that looks like a peg leg. This variety can be worth much more than face value, especially in high-grade, uncirculated condition. Speaking of condition, one of the most important factors in determining the value of a 1971 Eisenhower dollar is its grade coins that have been preserved in pristine condition, with minimal handling, and no circulation wear are referred to as mint state coins, and they are graded on a 70-point scale by professional grading services such as PCGS or NGC. An Eisenhower dollar graded MS-65 or higher can command a significant premium over its face value, particularly for coins with strong strikes, brilliant luster, and minimal bag marks. In addition to errors and condition, there is also the question of proof and uncirculated versions. The San Francisco Mint produced both proof coins and uncirculated silver-clad versions, packaged specially for collectors. These coins were never intended for circulation and were sold directly to the public, often in special holders or packaging. Proof coins are struck multiple times with specially polished dies, giving them a mirror-like finish and sharp details. A 1971 S-proof Eisenhower dollar in flawless condition can be a centerpiece of any collection. It is also worth noting that the Eisenhower dollar was the last large-size dollar coin produced for general circulation due to its unwieldy size and weight. It never caught on with the public, and by 1979 the Mint transitioned to the smaller Susan B. Anthony dollar coin. But that short run from 1971 to 1978 makes the Eisenhower series a manageable and fascinating series for collectors to complete. Now, imagine the journey this coin has taken from its design by chief engraver Frank Gasparro, who also designed the Lincoln Memorial Cent and the Kennedy $50 to its striking at the Mint, its release into circulation, and its survival through decades of commerce. How many hands has your 1971 dollar passed through? How many pockets, registers, and coin jars has it seen? What stories could it tell? If only coins could talk, they would speak of an America at the crossroads of history, an America looking to the stars as it remembered its past, a nation mourning the loss of a beloved president while celebrating technological triumphs. Over the years, the 1971 Eisenhower dollar has found its place in the hearts of collectors who appreciate its bold size, its historical significance, and its unique varieties. While some people dismiss it as just a big clunky coin, others see it as a gateway into the world of numismatics, a starting point for learning about minting processes, coin grading, and the thrill of the hunt for rare errors and high-grade specimens. Let us delve deeper into the specifics of this coin to truly understand its value. First, consider the mintage figures in 1971. The Philadelphia Mint produced over 47 million Eisenhower dollars. The Denver Mint produced nearly 70 million. And the San Francisco Mint produced just over 6 million silver-clad uncirculated coins and about 4 million proof coins. While these numbers may seem high, keep in mind that the survival rate for coins in high grades is much lower. Many of these coins went into circulation and experienced heavy wear, making pristine examples harder to find. Another factor is the appeal of the design. The obverse features a strong portrait of Eisenhower facing, left his expression resolute, and confident around him. The word liberty arches over his head with the motto, "In God we trust," to the left, and the date, 1971. Below, the reverse shows the powerful image of the American bald eagle landing on the moon, clutching an olive branch, its wings spread wide with the earth in the background. 13 stars encircle the eagle, representing the original colonies, and the words, "United States of America," and $1 frame the scene. A pluribus unum is inscribed above the eagle. This design not only honors Eisenhower, but also the legacy of the Apollo missions, merging two monumental chapters of American history in one coin. So how do you know if your 1971 Eisenhower dollar is worth more than face value? You must look closely at its mint mark, its condition, its strike quality, and possible errors. A circulated 1971 D Eisenhower dollar in average condition might only be worth $1.50 to $3, but a mint state example can fetch $20 or more depending on grade. A rare double die or pegleg variety can be worth hundreds of dollars, especially if professionally graded and slabbed. Collectors also pay attention to the type of strike some coins have, a Type 1 or Type 2 reverse, with subtle differences in lettering and relief. These varieties can add to a coin's desirability and value as you build your Eisenhower dollar collection. It helps to invest in a good magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe study. The fine details: look for doubling on the letters and date. Check the R in Liberty. Inspect the eagle's feathers and the fields for marks, scratches, or signs of polishing. Educating yourself is key because the world of coins is filled with nuance and surprises. If you are truly serious about collecting or selling your coins, consider having them graded by a reputable third-party grading service. This can authenticate the coin's condition and variety, adding credibility and value when you go to sell or trade. Collectors love the story behind the coin, and the 1971 Eisenhower dollar has one of the richest stories of them all. It connects generations. It bridges the past and the future. It celebrates leadership, courage, and human achievement beyond the numismatic value these coins carry. Sentimental value for many Americans. They remind us of a time when coins were more than just money. They were miniature monuments to our collective history. Even today, you might find one tucked away in an old collection jar, passed down from a relative, or hiding in a cash register drawer, waiting to be rediscovered. When you do, you hold a piece of that story in your hand. And that is what makes coin collecting so rewarding. You are not just collecting metal. You are collecting moments in time preserved for future generations. So the next time you come across a 1971 Eisenhower dollar, take a moment to appreciate its weight, its design, its journey through history, and its potential hidden value. You never know that $1 coin could be worth much more than you think, and it might just inspire you to look a little closer at the change you carry every day, because who knows what treasures lie in your pocket, your drawers, or your old piggy bank. And that is the magic of coins. They remind us that sometimes the smallest things can hold the greatest stories. So keep searching, keep learning, and keep collecting, because every coin has a story, and your story as a collector is only just beginning.